We're on the downhill slope of our digital portfolio. Right now I'm looking at the prototype of the Internship Experience page of our portfolio. And before we get started into coding this out, let's take a look at what we have to do. You're going to find that this is very similar to the previous build section that we just did, the education roadmap page. So at the top we have a nice large logo of the internship site that this person did their internship with. And there's a section in here where you're going to put in a little bit of a narrative, a story about your internship experience and what that was like. And then the following section after that, there is a spot to highlight the company or organization that you interned with. Now, this is very similar, obviously, to some other sections that we've done. But what's different about this section in here is none of these columns are the buttons. None of these have the button class that we've used in the past. So you are welcome to modify or change this as you see fit. The other thing that's also different is that in the middle here we have an embedded YouTube video. So this is not required, but if there is a spot for you where your company does have a YouTube, say, intro video, which I mean maybe some smaller ones don't, but I'd be surprised to find that I'd be surprised that most companies don't have one. So you might check around to see if you can find something like that for your company organization spotlight right in there in the middle. And then following that, we have some basic information about the company or organization that you interned with. And really this is a way to pay tribute and say thanks to the internship site that you interned with, and to give a little information about what you did and who that company is. Some of this stuff you may not be able to find, and that's okay. If you can't find a mission statement because it's a smaller company or organization, that's okay. Same thing with the history and community relations and partnerships. But, it never hurts to ask, and it's always a great way to highlight what that company stands for. And like I said, it's a great way to give back to the company that you interned for. You're giving them a little bit of free advertising, which I think is always a nice bonus. Down here on the bottom, we have another section. This is obviously from a fun movie about internships. And this section here is all about an interview with your supervisor. And we have this all laid out, what you need to complete this page in terms of the content. If you need some examples of questions and stuff that you'd like to ask, this is all laid out in our portfolio design piece. So if you go back to the portfolio main menu, scroll down, build your portfolio, it's laid out right here, internships. These are all bulleted forms, so you know exactly all the content that you need to complete this section. So let's take a look at where we're going here. We're at the top. We need that image, and we're going to put in this piece, the narrative piece here. So let's get started. I'm going to tab over to Dreamweaver. And in my files panel over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to open up the Internship Experience page. And I'm going to scroll down, and I'm looking for that big paragraph section there that I use to kind of create as a placeholder. And I'm going to delete that out. I'm going to leave my cursor right there in the middle, and we're going to start off with our left caret main class main. And then we need to add that second class of top so it spaces down below our header so it doesn't get lost or hidden. And then right caret, and then enter, return a couple of times, and then hit the backspace so that goes on the same level. And then move your cursor up, tab in, and then here we're going to nest our first div again. So div class row. This is pretty much what we've been doing throughout our tutorials. And then hit the enter return key a couple times, and then move your cursor up in the middle, and then tab in. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert that image, the Southern Oregon Humane Society image. You might need to find an image of your company or organization or something similar that'll work for you. And I'm going to type in a left caret, and then here we go. Div class. This is going to be that image container because we're going to house that image inside of this container. And then we're going to go ahead and link up the image to the homepage of the organization, so they get a little referral from us if someone is on our website. So I think that's always, again, another good bonus to help out our business and organizations that helped us out. So ahref, and I have this already set up. I'm just going to copy and paste from, and you're not going to see my cursor here. It's going to go off screen, but I'm copying and pasting that from the website, from the Southern Oregon Humane Society, and I'm just going to paste that right in there. And then I'm going to move my cursor after the quotation mark, hit the space bar, and we're going to have this open up in a new window or a new tab. So I'm going to select or type in target and then select blank and then right caret. And now that's created our A tag. So now I can insert the image tag and have that A tag wrapped around that image tag. So left caret img src for source, and then enter return a couple times. And then we're looking for that images folder in our portfolio folder there. And I'm looking for this So Humane logo right there. So I'm going to click open. Hit the space bar. I need to type in an alt tag so we are compliant. So I'm just going to type in So Humane and then / and then right caret. So that'll take care of our image right there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and locate that closing row right there, the closing div tag row. And then I'm going to hit the enter return key, and we're going to do another row right below it. So left caret div class row, right caret, enter return key, move the cursor up, and then tab in. So here's where we're going to put in our narrative. And so we're going to use a heading 2 tag for our catchy, spell catchy, right? Catchy title to internship narrative. Having a hard time typing today. Apologies. Okay, then after that H2, we're going to enter in some paragraph tags. And so this is where you would copy and paste from a little narrative that you wrote. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in some of that famous Lorem Ipsum text. And I'm just going to do it a paragraph at a time. It's going to make sure you type in an A tag for every paragraph that you're putting in. And copy and paste. Just on down the row until you get all of your paragraphs in there that you need from your written piece. Now, some of you might have, 5 paragraphs. Some of you might have 4. Some of you might have more. So depending on how many paragraphs you wrote for this piece, that'll determine how many paragraph tags you use. Okay, last one. There we go. Okay, so that's going to basically take care of our first section of our internship experience page. Let's go ahead and preview before we move on to the next section. Make sure everything looks right. I go up here and change from developer and get into my developer tool so I can see that as a laptop view, and then go to the Galaxy S5, and then you can see that reshrinks and our paragraphs go in there just perfectly. No styling for this one because we've pretty much taken care of all of the styling that we've needed throughout our portfolio. So we're rocking and rolling on to the next section, which will be our featuring our internship site.